YouTube, what's good? It's your boy Level Up Cuts. Today we'll be doing a drop ball fade tutorial. If you guys have any questions throughout this tutorial, please leave them in the comment section below. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button and don't forget to subscribe. Let's get into it. Alright, so today we're going to be doing a drop ball fade. We're going to start our fade off by making our line as to where the fade is going to start. We're going to make this line, and as we go towards the back, we're going to drop this line to give it a drop fade effect. When you're making this line, you want to make sure that this line is neat and that it's even the whole way through. We're going to start at the same place on this side. Usually I use my client's eyebrows to kind of mark as to where the line started on each side, so I make sure that it's even. You also can go in front of your client and you can look head on and make sure that that line is even. You want to make sure this line is even because you want your fade to be even on both sides. After we set our guideline, we're going to come back underneath and we're going to clean up all the hair that is left. Right now I'm cleaning it up with my Wahl Magic Clip. You want to make sure that you get every single hair behind the ears. You want to be a nice, clean, even baldness to the bottom of the fade so you can make sure that that fade pops. After I clean up with my Wahl Magic Clip, I'm going to come behind it, as you guys will see, and clean up with my Andis T outliner. So my Andis T outliner is going to clean up all that stubble, as you guys will see, and it's really going to make that fade pop. The reason I don't put my guideline in with the Andis T outliner is just because it's such a hard line that oftentimes it's hard to remove, especially when you're first starting out. You definitely don't want to make that a hard line to take out. Oftentimes people always say, you know, whatever you put your line in with, you can take it out, but that's not always the case. A lot of times you can make that harder on yourself. If you're new to my channel and you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments below. And if you like this type of content, please hit that subscribe button. I definitely will be uploading videos every Tuesday and Thursday, so you definitely could be on the lookout. So right now I'm just cleaning up this fade, cleaning up underneath, balding out, and next we're gonna make our first guideline. So I'll just go ahead and let the music play until we get there. Alright, so here we go. We're making our guideline around our client's head, and typically you want to go up an inch. Personally, I use the teeth of the blade, and if you use the teeth when the clipper is fully open, it pretty much will be an inch, and that'll give you enough space to really give that fade a transition. And you want to make sure that you stay consistent all the way around his head and that this line is even. When fading, you want to make sure that everything is even. The neater the fade, the better the fade, and the easier the fade will be. Alright, so here we go. Now we're bringing the hair down. We're bringing it down to the desired length. Right now I'm using the 1 3/4 guard on an Andis Super ZR. My client, he has lighter texture here. I guess you could say it's very much softer texture. So when it's a softer texture, you want to use a bigger guard just because the hair will come off easier. And the reason I'm doing it now and I didn't do this at the beginning is because the hair underneath wasn't going to be needed for this haircut, so I pretty much took it off. It would have just been a waste of time to cut that hair down and then put your guideline on it when you could kind of already get rid of that and then cut what's needed. Also, when you're cutting your client's hair down, you want to make sure that you're combing and that you're cutting. You want to make sure you're combing because you got to see the direction that your client hair is actually growing in. Because if you don't, you stand a chance of actually gapping his hair, and that's going to make the haircut a lot harder than it has to be. So take your time with this step and just stay consistent. Make sure that hair is even and just cut and comb all the way through. So here we're cutting down the crown area, and you definitely want to comb through this part because his hair is growing in all different directions, and you definitely won't want to gap him here because you will put a gap in the middle of his head. So just like I said previously, cut and comb, see what direction the hair is growing in. The crown can be very tricky, so just take your time with it. Also, don't be afraid to go over your client's head more than one time, because the first time you go over it is not going to be even. So you definitely have to do it a few times to make sure that it's even all the way through. Alright, so we're about to get into this fade. Right now I got the 1.5 guard on, and I'm going up an inch just like how I put it in that previous guideline. And you just want to stay consistent all the way through. Same like cutting the hair down, don't be afraid to go over it more than one time. You definitely want to make sure that this is even and that it's neat, just like putting in every other guideline and cutting down the hair. So stay consistent, stay even all the way through. I'm pretty much just gonna be doing the left side of my client's head, and what I do to one side is the same thing you would do to the other side and to the back to get that clean, even fade. So right now I have the number 2 guard out and it's open, and we're going up to the ridge of his head, and we're just gonna come down with it, and as we come down we're gonna close that lever. The reason why I'm cutting with the number 2 guard right now, if you remember, we cut his hair down with that 1 3/4, so you always want to go 1 guard up and pretty much at the ridge of his head, and that's what will catch the hair for that fade to come on in and blend evenly. You can already see that fade coming in as we remove a lot of the bulk from the side of my client's head. So pretty much, and when you're coming down, remember you want to close that lever up and just kind of pick your spots as to where you see the bulk at, and take your time with it. So after this number 2 guard, I'm gonna go to the 1.5 guard. And the way I'm fading down. The reason why I like to fade down is because I feel like it's safer. A lot of the times when you're fading up, you can tend to, without even trying, push that guideline up and keep on pushing it up, and your fade may kind of get out of place of where you envision it to be. When you're fading down, you have a little bit more control, and you kind of just pick your spots, pick and choose as to how you see the fade coming in. So here we go with that 1.5 guard. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start with that 1.5 guard all the way open. The 1.5 guard open is very close to the number 2 guard all the way closed. So you are able to pick and choose your spots still in that number 2 area where you kind of just came and faded down. But as you're fading down with this 1.5, you're gonna do the same thing you did with the number 2, and you're just gonna close that guard up little by little and pick and choose your spots, and just take your time with it as always. Cutting hair is a lot about just using your eyes and just seeing what needs to be done. There is no just step-by-step way to do it. So when you are going through this, you definitely want to just see what you need to do. It's not always just take out the next guard and do it. It's a million different ways to fade, so you have to pay attention when fading and look at all the details. And that's why I always say take your time, because hair is very complex. It's very detail oriented, so make sure that you're taking your time with each step and really just going in and getting that fade to blend real nice. So after this step, we're pretty much gonna do the same thing. So we went from the number 2 guard to the number 1.5 guard, and next we're gonna go to, you guessed it, the number 1 guard, because we're fading down. So here we go with that number 1 guard, and we're gonna start the same way with that lever all the way open, and we picking and choosing them spots. In the same way that the number 1.5 open is close to that number 2 close, the number 1 open is close to the number 1.5 close. So when you're fading, you go notch down and just come up underneath, and we can really see that fade starting to come in now. lot of fading is just seeing what has to be done. So I can still see that towards the ridge of my client hair, it's still a little bulky. So I'm coming back with that number 2 guard and just cleaning up anything that was left behind. Oh, this new be hard. Go ahead, hit a thumbs up if you want to hear me spit a verse. Nah, I'm just playing. But please do hit that thumbs up button, like this video, comment, subscribe. It definitely be more videos on the way. Here we go, back with that number 1 guard. Same thing, picking and choosing spots, cleaning up that fade. So you can already see that fade. It's pretty much faded. All I have to do now is come up underneath and knock out that bottom line. Don't y'all just love to see a nice, clean, even fade? Like, something about a fade is just so satisfying. So here we go, we knocking out that bottom line, and we got our blade all the way closed, and we just gonna notch as we go up, picking and choosing them spots, seeing what needs to be done, and that fade's gonna come right on in. The most important part of your fade is that bottom line. You want to make sure that you cannot tell where this fade has started, and that's when you truly have a clean fade, when there's no beginning and no end. Since we put our guideline in with our wall magic clip, it came out pretty easy with only using the wall magic clip. We didn't have to go back over it and fight that line out. It's what y'all was saying when I meant to not really put a hard line in there, because you have to work super hard to get it out. So here we go, we're cleaning up the beard right now, and while we cleaning up this beard, we're gonna start with that 1.5. We're gonna start with it open and take away some of that bulk. Then we're gonna go to our 1 guard, and we're gonna go ahead and go back the same way. We're gonna go in, and as we're going up on his beard, we're gonna close that lever up, and it's just gonna give a fade transition, pretty much fading in reverse with the beard. Next, now we have no guard on the clipper, and we're pretty much just detailing it, just notching and cleaning up that fade on that beard. I still seen a lot of bulk left, so I'm coming back underneath it with that 2 guard, and I'm just gonna start with an open and close that lever up and knock out the bulk that's left. Details, details, details. Details are very important. So right now we just detailing this fade, pretty much just playing with that lever, just kind of just picking and choosing our spots, seeing what needs to be done, and we just gonna make that blend melt like butter. Alright, so now I'm just going over my client's head with that 1.5 fully open. I just wanted the waves to pop a little bit more, so I'm pretty much just kind of thinning the hair out and just knocking off any loose hairs to pretty much get them waves to pop. The 1.5 guard open is very close to that 1 3/4 guard that I used on the Andis Super ZR to initially take his hair down. When you're cutting hair, you really want to get familiar with the guards and the blades, just so that understanding the haircut and doing the haircut will become a lot easier. Alright, so right here we're going to go ahead and prep our client before we line them up. So right now I'm cleaning all of the surfaces around our client's hairline with hot lather. Hot lather is pretty much like soap, and what it's going to do is clean up any residue or anything that was left on his skin from lotion or anything that he might have put on his face. I like to use the hot towel just so it can go ahead and dissolve that hot lather. So with the massager was pretty much just relaxing for the client. It's just a little tip that I would give you guys, that if you want to really take your services to the next level. Right here we're pretty much just drying our client's hair, and we're gonna come back and just hit it with some spritz to lay that hair on down. Here we go with the lineup. Just a quick tip. When I'm lining up, just pay attention to my index finger and see where I brace it, because that brace is pretty much giving me the stability with the clippers to really be able to draw a straight line. So same thing on this side, we just staying consistent, and these are the small details that will make and break your haircut. So you definitely want to pay attention to every single detail. So here we go with the vertical bar, and pretty much what I'm doing is I'm gonna line this up with my client's eyebrow, and I'm gonna put it in the same place on both sides to make sure that the lineup is going to be even. The eyebrows are very important just because they are a mark on a client's face that you can use to make sure that everything lines up right and that it's even. We're lining up our client's mustache, and you want to be extra gentle around this area just because it's very, very sensitive and you do not want to cut your client. Same thing on this side, we just lining that vertical bar up, making sure that it stops in the same place as it did on our client's right side of his head. Now we're prepping the front lineup, just laying that hair down with the number 1 guard open. When starting the front lineup, you want to make sure your client is facing directly towards you, and then you want to start that lineup in the middle, and you're going to work your way right, and then you're going to work your way left. But when you're doing this, take your time with it. Always step back and make sure that lineup is straight, because there is no going back, and a lineup is something that you cannot mess up on. Now I'm just taking my time, stepping back, making sure that that lineup is even, trying to get it as straight as possible, so straight that we can almost put a ruler up to it. As we're doing the lineup, you can see that the clipper is leaving like a thin white line, but the reason it's leaving this white line is because we cleaned our client's surface of his lineup with that hot lather, and then we spritzed it down. So in order to have that white line, that's what you would need to do. I know a lot of times I see people use the Barber Magic pencil to achieve this white line, but if you just clean your client's skin, the clippers will do that for you. And here we're going back in with that razor just to get any stubble and to really make that line pop. And now I'm lining up my client's beard, and he's trying to grow his beard in, so I'm making sure that I'm lining it up as far and as wide as possible to really get that beard room to grow in. Using the razor, you want to make sure that it's at a 90-degree angle, and you want to do that so you do not cut your client. And to practice and to get good at that, you can always put shaving cream on a balloon and go across the balloon. If the balloon pops, then it's not at a 90 degree. If the balloon does not pop, then you're good to go. Also, when you're using that razor, you want to make sure that you're stretching your client's skin. If you can see with my left hand, my thumb is stretching my client's skin to make sure that the skin is tight as I'm using the razor. Right here, we're applying wave foam, which is going to take our client's waves to the next level. So right now, we're just rubbing it all in, and then we're going to come back and we're going to brush it and blow dry it in. I prefer to use a wave foam over a pomade because it just dissolves better into the hair and it makes the waves look more defined. If you guys would like to purchase any wave foam, I will leave that link below. My client preferred enhancement, so right now we're gonna go back over the lineup, outlining it with this business card, and we're just gonna gently spray the enhancements. When spraying enhancements and putting enhancements down, you wanna make sure that it looks as natural as possible. So be very light-handed when applying enhancements. After we're done outlining his hairline with the spray, we're gonna come back and we're gonna lay down some spritz, and then we're gonna actually apply fibers. When applying the fibers, I just spray it on without using the card so that the fibers fall naturally and so that it won't look like it's clunky on his hairline. Then we're gonna come back and we're gonna tap that line, and we're just gonna stay natural with our client's hairline and clean up any fibers that were left behind. we just gonna come back and tap that line with that razor, cleaning everything up. I know I repeat steps a lot, but details are what matter, and details are what's gonna set you apart in this barber game. Now we're just going back with the shears and clean up any loose hair that we see, and this is pretty much the finished product. If you guys enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up button. If you have any questions, you can leave it in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I appreciate you guys for watching.